His experience. He's so smart. He have everything in a fighter, a complete fighter. He don't have power in the punches, but sometimes you don't need it. You know, when you that kind of fighter, you don't need it.
He knows distance well, and I don't think the other guys can like reach him or capitalize off of it.
Now, everybody's saying decision. Could a stoppage be on the table? Because you said like frustrate him.
Yeah, for sure. A stoppage is always in the works. These guys fighting with 8 ounces on no head gear. Anything can happen in boxing. Back out. Just be himself. Be him. Don't listen to the crowd. Don't listen to these fans. Don't listen to these haters, naysaying doubters. Just be him. Do what he do best, and that's one.
Well, it's more of a fighter. Like he's a ring generalship. He's in there thinking. He's calm. He's having fun because Teofimo's been proving it before. And I gotta emphasize this. If someone can pull it off, it's definitely Teofimo Lopez. If Teofimo Lopez doesn't do it, I don't know who is gonna beat Shakur Stevenson.
Boxing professionals argue that Teofimo Lopez could overwhelm Shakur Stevenson, believing Lopez's ring IQ, quick movement, and aggressive mindset could disrupt Shakur's highly technical defense first.
Showed you that he can fight inside, he can fight outside. He would have the advantage of power in this fight. You know one thing that I love about this fight, Bud? Shakur's very athletic, very talented. So is Teofimo. He's more explosive with power, but Teofimo is very athletic. He is very talented. You got two athletic guys, two talented guys. Again, Teofimo I would favor with the power. This is going to be interesting.
And analysts also point to Teofimo's natural size and physical strength as key advantages, especially against a skilled but lighter opponent like Shakur Stevenson moving up in weight.
He's a very special athlete. And as a competitor, he is one of those guys who saves his A game for a fellow elite opponent. That's when he really rises his game and shows us the Teofimo Lopez that everybody thought he was when he was a prospect. People used to look at him and say, oh, this guy is going to be the star in boxing. It didn't really play out that way, but every now and then he reminds us how special he is.
Teofimo is a two-division Ring Magazine champion. In both fights where he won the Ring Magazine championship, he was the underdog. 4-1 underdog against Lomachenko. People forget, Lomachenko was taking elite fighters in the lower divisions and they were quitting.
Yes.
He was beating them into some, they were like, I can't do this, right? And Teofimo beat him. Right, he outboxed him.
Yeah, he didn't do it by physically imposing himself on him.
He outboxed him, he outfought him, he had speed, power, and then again, against Josh Taylor at junior welterweight, he was the underdog, so he saves his best for his biggest moment.
Lopez himself has stated that he plans to make the fight uncomfortable and chaotic, using his strength and size at 140 pounds to force exchanges, break Stevenson's rhythm, and land damaging shots, possibly aiming for a stoppage rather than a drawn-out decision.
Very talented, skillful, technique fighter.
Yeah.
Can't take anything away from it. However, scared to get hit. Scared to get knocked out in front of the world. Scared to get touched up in front of the world.
Are you saying that off of the last fight or just
in general?
In general.
In general.
Yeah.
In general, me and Shakur sparred before. We did 3 rounds, and it was just light work. And me trying to figure out his jab. Does he have a good jab? Yeah, he does. But once you pass his jab,
according to Shane Mosley, Stevenson could be taking a serious risk by stepping in with such an explosive fighter at 140. The concern isn't about Shakur's talent, but how his body will respond after the added weight.
I don't think that. Well, maybe. I mean, Shakur might show some different, if he has to go after Teofimo, he might show some different type of heart that we haven't seen or different type of fighting we haven't seen. And vice versa, whereas Teofimo's hitting him with different shots off the angle that is kind of giving, Shakur Stevenson trouble. We'll see about that. So we just don't know.
Yeah, the thing is I think people overlook of Teofimo is he can box when he wants to. Like, he's shown he has a slick style too when he wants to do that.
When he wants to do that. So if you have a slick style and you got power and you got the speed too, and you're fighting at 140. So let's see. I don't know if Shakur Stevenson is going to get slower moving up in weight or not, where Teofimo can hit him. Maybe he was really fast at 130, 26-30, maybe 35, but 40, you put on a little bit more weight. I think that he holds the weight probably really, really good.
Few fighters who've made similar jumps warn that Stevenson could lose some of the sharp footwork and lightning-fast reactions that define his dominance, while Lopez thrives on speed, power, and physicality at this weight.
What if it's the Teofimo that beat Lomachenko? What if that Teofimo shows up?
Like I said, at Lomachenko, it's a not easy fight. Teofimo was able to be in the ring with different type of fighters and figure it out. The fighters that Shakur Stevenson was in with, they couldn't figure it out or get close to figuring it out. Whereas Teofimo had to figure out that type of style, and Lomachenko is a hard fight to fight. So that's why this fight is so interesting. And for Shakur Stevenson to move up to 140 to fight him is definitely a hats off to him.
Do you have a favorite on paper in that fight at all, Shane?
I believe it's a 50-50. It's a fight that I just have to sit down and watch and just want to see, like I said, who imposed their will on the other.
Experts like Andre Ward believe the fight could come down to the smallest margins execution on fight night, timing, conditioning, and discipline, because stylistically, both fighters are elite with very little separating them.
Teo knows it's going to be a real fight. Shakur knows it's going to be a real fight. And I look at Shakur like a fighter who has a blank canvas. He's got the IQ, he got the experience, and the athleticism, and the skill set where he can paint any type of picture he wants to on a blank canvas. When I look at Teofimo Lopez, he's almost that. He has a blank canvas, but he needs an outline on what to draw and what to paint inside the line. Now, every now and again, he'll go away from the outline that he has and he'll do something dope, and you'll be like, "Oh, that was cool. That wasn't on the outline right there." But I don't think that he can create on the fly like a Shakur Stevenson. But what he does bring to the table, and what Shakur does have to deal with, is explosive power, quick twitch, muscles, and the type of punches that he likes to throw. And Teo doesn't have the foot game that Shakur has, but he's got...
Max Kellerman notes that Shakur enters with more to lose due to his technical reputation and undefeated record. Teofimo, meanwhile, has more to gain as the underdog, where pressure is lower and opportunity is higher, making the matchup dangerous and unpredictable.
Is fighting to protect that perfect record, to protect that kind of sense that he's the next guy. On the other hand, Teo is like he can fight with more abandon against Shakur because there's so much for him to gain. And if he loses, he's lost before. He's lost.
Molly Aji acknowledges that Shakur Stevenson's elite defensive ability makes him a rare and difficult talent to beat. However, he also believes that if Teofimo Lopez delivers his absolute best performance, he has the tools to upset Stevenson and win the fight.
Dangerous when he's counted out. And this is going to be one of those fights where he's going to be counted out, because Shakur is looked at by and large as the guy who can dominate boxing in this generation, right? It's just a matter of him getting the opportunity. I myself have felt that he's the guy who could and should be dominating boxing if he gets the right matchups. But bro, this is one of the rare matchups, if not maybe the only matchup, where I feel like is a big threat here to Shakur. And then they would all come undone, only because of this reason. Teofimo Lopez, we've seen him at his best, but he typically brings out his best characteristics when he's back against the wall and he's counted out. And he's going to be counted out in this fight. By and large, people are going to side with Shakur in this fight to win the fight, because he's the more consistent fighter, he's the more class fighter overall, and he's just so damn good. There's just something about Teofimo, man. He brings out a different level and somehow supersedes that guy who is that damn good. I've seen it. We've seen it already. I'm not saying anything that anybody else hasn't already seen, okay? I'm just stipulating it. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know who wins this fight. Because again, your better head says Shakur, but then you think about, man, Teofimo, again,
He's got the X factor.
He's got the
talent to
I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Shakur is extremely talented and could be the face of boxing as far as being that good and being that dominant, even though no matter how good you are. But this is one of the rare fights where you can get beat. And I don't ever want to hear any of you tank nut huggers that he fights one Uber driver after another. If Shakur Stevenson loses this fight, I don't ever want to hear any of you saying, oh, what about Shakur now?